Alright, hello. Been meaning to make a video this mod to my Devos Ranger 1200. This was their flagship product. It's a good product, and I like it a lot. The only thing that I found it lacking was a remote, because if we set it up outside our tent, yeah, you gotta go manually hit the switch to turn it on. It'd be nice to, if you hear anything or someone needs to go to the bathroom, you can just remotely turn it on. So I did a little bit of research by taking mine apart. I'm sure I avoided the warranty, so if you attempt to do this, it's at your own risk. It's pretty simple to take apart. There's 4 Phillips screws, and that exposes the wires for every panel plus the battery hookup for this board right here. Hopefully this is all in zoom. I'm using an old GoPro, but anyway, pretty straightforward actually. The switch on the outside that you see here, where is it? Right here. That switch right here is basically this guy here, and all it does, from what I measured, was take a pin to ground. So that's, again, pretty simple, and I can show you this. I'll try to make this a quick video because I don't want it to be okay. Need my chopstick skills. Alright, so, and those two right there, when you press the button, all it does is pull that signal to ground. Now that line goes to one of these pins on this microprocessor. I didn't want to figure out how to go through the USB-C port, because apparently they have accessories that turn the light on and off through there, but there's some sort of encoding, decoding going on, which I don't have time or tools to do that. So anyway, what I found on Amazon that was the right form factor was this 433 megahertz remote. I thought originally it was like Bluetooth, but no, it's not Bluetooth. Bluetooth has a longer range. I may have a longer range, I don't know. This seems to work pretty good. I mean, I tested it out, and it worked across the yard, maybe about, I'm going to say 65 feet, 70 feet. So, I mean, for camping purposes, that's more than enough. Unfortunately, they discontinued, or the seller is no longer on Amazon for this one, so I did a little looking around to find something equivalent. I don't know how well this comes out on my screen, but on Amazon, there's a similar product. This is a mini relay remote control switch. It operates at 3.7, 5, 6, and 9 volts. So when I measured and I was hoping that this Devos battery was at least 6 volts, but actually it's lower than that. It's about 3.9. Oh, I didn't put that on voltage. It's about, come on. Yeah, 3.9 volts. So just enough to operate this device. And so I took the original wires off and put my own smaller ones. There's a plus and minus, so that's your battery. And then there is a P minus. I don't know if this one is labeled with P minus. Oh, it is. So if you can see my screen, there's a P minus, and that's basically kind of acting like a momentary button to ground, just as this one does, right? So, you know, thinking back when I first soldered this, I could have just soldered to that pin right there, but I went and got my fine point soldering iron, and I stuck it right there, and I think it was because it was already it was still mounted in there, so I just soldered to that, and that's the P minus. That's that tying that pin to ground right there is the P minus. And then I tied the power and ground, of course, to where the battery cable plugs in. Red is positive, black is negative, and that's going to the red or the plus and minus on the board. Alright, so that said, let's see what else. Another thing I did, which you may not need to, it's up to you. I wasn't sure how much power this this device drew. It's probably very low, you know, in the milliamps or microamps. Let's see if this one says working current 7 milliamps. So 7 milliamps, you know, if you're gonna store this away for a few months, I don't know. Yeah, you wouldn't want this put away for like months and draining this battery down to below its recommended levels. I'm sure there's some protections in here that shut off or disconnect the battery if that gets too low. So what I did is in between the power and ground to this guy, as you can see, I have the power going through. It's a reed switch. Basically this operates with a magnet. This opens and closes with a magnet. Again, pretty straightforward, and they sell these on Amazon too. You can get them for like $1 a piece. It's hard to get them in onesie twosies. You can get a pack of 10 for like $7, so maybe even less than $1 a piece. But anyway, I put a, you know, I can do it better. Maybe 3D print a magnet that will tuck in here. But you know, if I choose to remove it, I can. And this reed switch fits just perfectly right behind there. If you couldn't see that, there's voids in this space here where that reed switch fit perfectly right there. I put a little Velcro to put the magnet that I have right there. I know it's cheesy, but this was temporary as I wanted to try it out. Anyway, so again, switch, rubber button, external rubber button, and it fits right, yeah, right in there. Reed switch is sensitive enough to do the job. Turn this this thing on and off. And of course you'll need some soldering skills, right? You wanna make sure you do a decent job soldering it. But those who looking to modify their Devos is I'm sure is going to be interested in either developing these skills or having them already. So let's see here. Yeah, the screws seem to be all the same size. The ones for inside on the board and the ones for outside. I'm just gonna tack this down. The reason why I open this up again is because watch, you don't pinch your wires. It's because I'm gonna change my connector. I connectorized mine because I want to be able to pull it apart. I didn't have a connector, so small enough, so I cut one that I had and Mickey Mouse that. I have some JST connectors now that will do the job much cleaner. So I'm gonna do that offline. But anyway, so this thing, you know, I got keep track of your wires because I got my P minus going to my switch, and they're right there. When you take this thing apart, when you take this thing apart, let's see, yeah, P minus. Okay, when you take this thing apart, keep track of your wires, because each of these pairs go to a LED panel, and you probably want to hook them up in the same order because they are numbered. You have LED 3, there's 1, there's 4 and 2, yeah, anyway, and then there's a RGB. That RGB is the charge indicator light. So that's that guy right there, if you can see it. That one's the one that's green, red, and gives you the status of the battery. But anyway, just to give you an example, of how that works. I'll plug the battery in. Oh, come on. All right. And then let's see, I'll pick one of these. Which one's the closest? This is LED 1. I marked my wires. That's 2. I put little stripe bands on them to indicate which ones were which. Okay, there's 1. And they twist these up in there to get it to close. And so anyway, do I have that right? Oh yeah, that's right. Anyway, so let me get that in there. Of course, I picked the hardest one, huh? All right, let me. It doesn't matter which one it goes into for this test. I mean, this demonstration. So there. All right, so as you can see with this remote, nothing happens because I have that reed switch, that magnetic reed switch, interrupting the power to this module. But when I put my magnet there, it's closing that switch, and therefore there you go. Turn it on and off. You can turn it on, turn it on, and then I can dim it as well, holding it down. Come on. There it goes. It's dimming and going back up. Yeah, it's kind of painful to look at straight on. Anyway, so it like I said, it works a good, 70, 80 feet, which is plenty. What else did I need to touch on? Nothing, just be careful with your wires when you're closing it back up. You'll see when you open it, the unit, again, you're probably voiding the warranty, so at your own risk. There's a little rubber O-ring that goes around for water sealing. And then of course, this thing, believe it or not, when I went on Amazon to look for the replacement, fits perfectly in one of these top cavities. So antenna, I oriented the antenna alongside to fit on the adjacent cavity, and it fits in there. It fits in there. There you go. See? And no holes. Modification fits inside, and you have a remote for your Devos. I'm sure there's. Oh, did I take the magnet out? No. There we go. See? Oh, you see the blue light on that? It's receiving. There you go. Anyway, yeah, it's not. You just gotta be. Hold your button down until you get the response that you want. There you go. There you go. So sometimes it's a 1 or 2, but it works. It works, and it serves my purpose, and that's it. Hope you guys like this one. We'll see. Again, this is my first how-to video. Well, no, second one. I did one on my Jeep, replacing the bumper. Let's see how this one goes. Thank you. Bye.